Alright, let's do it.
So I already got the mute ending.
Yep.
Do we know what the other endings are, or...?
Well, I'm assuming that there's the Mew ending, there's the solo ending, and there's probably the ending for the other girl, and somehow I'm assuming that there's gonna be an ending for both of them. And I'm guessing that for that one we're probably gonna need to copy the data before we delete it. Alright, I'm just gonna be doing this for the Lozen because I want to see how she reacts to it. It was hot.
Oh. Okay. Do you want me to tell you the endings?
I want to see if I can get them by myself.
Okay.
First. You want to read it?
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure what I was rereading or not.
I just wanted to see what she would say if I said that the one scene was hot.
Well, it's messed up, but yeah, I guess there is that. Me, I'm just kind of personally a bit grossed out. But that's just because I'm a woman, obviously. I figured you'd think that. Anyway, that's all I want you to keep in mind. Stories like that, even the messed up ones. There's a reason why the last one dates to the year 322. It's not that their affair came to a conclusion, it's just that they both died. So yeah. Even if it is one hell of a story, it's one that ended completely abruptly. Just remember that, alright?
Alright, I'm not sure if we did these dialogues yet or not. To the woman
I
who...
feel like we did all of the dialogue, but I could be wrong.
Well, let's find out.
Yeah, like I said, I suggested she just wrote to them in straight prose. As for the reason why she didn't get anything from her own mother-in-law, well, that's pretty complicated. There were kind of some issues in the family there. You'll see what I mean if you read on.
I don't think we got Muse point on these.
Oh yeah, that's right. She has points too.
Yeah, two different people, two different point of views. To the woman who will marry my husband, you are no doubt aware of the Lewis family has extreme. Yeah, we've done that before.
Well, if that sounds like a kind of simplistic explanation, you have to understand. It's not really like anyone had the frame of reference to really get into space travel, but la la la. Even I only sort of barely understand it, and I'm the ship computer. Imagine what it must be like for someone barely educated woman in a society that doesn't really understand its technology, having only ever lived inside the ship. So her description of the captain and emperor's role is, well, it's a little mythologizing, okay? But it's pretty much accurate, right? Yeah, that's... Okay, what's she suggesting? That's gross and wrong and definitely, well... I don't think a bold move even begins to cover what she's saying. I feel bad saying this. I liked her. We were really close. She was a good woman. But my real master was the Emperor. And it would be a disservice to give her a pass on this. She was way over the line here. I think it's damned irresponsible of her to have considered telling the Pilbright that. Why would she even need to know? Anyway, I don't even buy the implication. I don't think it's even true. I don't know if you've noticed, but the Mungwa's birth rates are, well, it's not good. They had been getting bad for generations, but they were just getting worse and worse. Among noble families, they weren't even a replacement rate anymore.
Probably
By the way, I don't know if you know this, but the Mungungwa, it's the Korean national flower, so that's what they named the ship after.
Oh, interesting.
Don't worry, I only know that because Squid Game.
Ah, yes. I finally finished that Friday night.
Oh, what did you think of it?
I thought it was good.
I called everything. I felt like omnipotent.
I have no idea why. Nobody really ever wanted to acknowledge it.
Wait, is this all actually just the prequel to Squid Games?
Mongolwa kochi piesomira. So what I'm saying is, even ignoring the fact that he wanted, and her suggestion is just wrong, I don't think the Emperor would have to contrive it so they weren't any noble daughters of proper age. The simple fact of the matter is, Ugh. That sort of incest ended up being necessary and apparently didn't help since she couldn't deliver a son anyway. No awful and inappropriate theories are necessary. Well, I guess I'll grant the Pale Bride one thing. You never had to worry about her speaking out of turn. Really, at the time, she seemed like the perfectly virtuous wife, right until she snapped at the end.
Yeah, killing the entire ship might ruin your wifely attitude.
Yeah.
I know. How do you even reconcile that, right? How can someone seem so close to being the pinnacle of feminine virtue then turn out to be so completely messed up? I still don't get it. Not even slightly. She's right. What she instructed the Pale Bride, but man, I don't really agree with her assertion here. I wasn't a gossip. Look, yeah, I'm a social creature, of course. That's my job. I'm glad that my mistress valued me, but I don't really like the way she's characterizing me as being some chattery, gossiping woman. I was always better than that. I wish she'd have realized it.
Normally my conversation with mutes are rather frivolous nature, gossip in the affairs of some of the more important noble houses, as well as her trying to bait whatever she was about out of me. Well, I think such a flow of information is valuable, so I must pass news to my husband that he might not otherwise hear. I would not consider her attitude to have any resemblance to seriousness. Previously I had assumed that this was simply impossible due to her nature, but I do not really understand how, despite explanation, anyone could live inside a computer screen. She said she was an artificial person. I had assumed that, perhaps her absence of a soul, prevented her from feeling serious emotions. Obviously, she wears incredibly bold, colorful clothes. Her golden hair, absurdly well adorned. For the past month, however, she has been uncharacteristically humble, wearing unappealing brown dress with her hair undercoated. My curiosity got the better of me at last. Please, I have been wondering, why are you so attired? It is unlike you, I asked. She gave me an odd look. Huh? She asked. It is morning dress. That much was obvious, and not particularly the thrust of my question. Did you not tell me you were thousands of years old, and that you had no family? For what reason are you wearing mourning? She gave me an annoyed look. A friend of mine died, okay? No, I don't have a family. It's always been just me. But this guy was a really good friend, and he's definitely deserved that kind of respect, she said. We were super close. Do you wish to tell me about it, I asked. She gave me another look that I couldn't quite read, but seemed somehow said, nah, she said, I don't want to talk about it. Not now. I miss him too much. Hey, I'm gonna go now, okay? Talk to you later. I said goodbye to her, and she disappeared from the computer screen. As she did, I could have sworn that I heard her start to cry.
Well... Yeah. She probably did see me cry. I had a really hard time talking about it then. Especially not to my mistress. I really didn't mean to be so vulnerable in front of her. That just isn't proper. Kind of embarrassing, really. I'm sure you've already guessed, but yeah. The man in question was Smith Sang-jung. Strictly speaking, there was no real mourning obligation. It's not like I was really family. Still, the man was the closest thing to a husband to me. I mean, don't take this the wrong way. It's hardly scandalous. I'm not just a real woman. I'm just a computer. But we had a really close relationship, so yeah, I thought it'd be appropriate if I honored him like he was. He never married, so it's not like anyone else would. I just figured the man deserved that much. He totally deserved that much.
Alright. Now I should have unlocked some new point of views from Pune.
Oh, so you've read those then? Not that it was seen appropriate for women to spend time with anyone but other women or anything, but, uh, so why are you showing this to me?
To hear what you think.
Well, why do you ask? Do you, approve of that sort of thing?
Again, I still don't know how to answer this one.
I see. Well, it's... When she said she wanted to be seduced, I can definitely really understand that. Especially if it was someone I really liked. That sounds like a good thing to me. Not that I could really imagine doing that with any of my servants, but Jeez, why are we even talking about something like this? Embarrassing. Can we please talk about something else? I can't read.
It's alright.
I said I don't really want to talk about this anymore. Wait, fuck. I said I really don't want to talk about this more. Alright?
But, you have new speech things that we have to go over. Not that one. Nope, she didn't want to talk about it anymore. This one should have. Yep.
I never read her letters at the time. I couldn't. I know she read them to me eventually, but I was just numb to that sort of talk at that point. Now they're just hard for me to read.
Well, the only thing left to do now is to get her to talk about how she yeeted everyone on the ship.
There's an imposter among us.
It's always the quiet ones. So, mute. What do you think of this pale bride? Pretty swell lady, am I right?
So, like, you've talked to her a fair bit, right? What do you think of Hyunai?
I don't hate her.
Seriously? You can stand her? Did she tell you about the whole mass murder thing, or did she conveniently leave that out?
Ah, she didn't talk about that one bit.
No, of course not. I'm sure that awful bitch is ashamed of what she did. Or maybe she just wanted to impress you. I don't think most men are turned on by that kind of lunacy. So I can see why she'd hide that.
I mean, you'd be surprised with the anime community nowadays.
Probably better if you don't hear it from me, though. I don't think you'd even believe it. Better ask her yourself. Okay, so what I'm going to do is give you an entire block that's full of nothing but questions for her. Might be a little hard to get the whole story out of her, but if you fake sympathy, she'll probably actually believe you. So there you are. A few questions to give to her, drag the truth out of her, then tell me how crazy you think she is.
65%. Wrong one. Alright. Oh, fuck. Let's see how far we can get up before the ship goes. Alright. Think we can get it right this time right away?
Hmm?
Think we can get this right away this time?
I don't remember what we needed to do, so.
Yep. Reactor? No. What? Did he already try? Yes, indeedy. Ah, curses! One is the nuclear reactor, the other is the power storage system. Alright, we need to shut down everything we don't need. Let's see. Power control. Power control list. I want to copy. I want to copy Mew to Hyunai's. Oh shit. Ah. Power control. List. Copy. So I want to copy it from mute, which is club 1 to 2. And then power can power control list. Do you remember which ones I need to shut off?
Let me know if you want me to tell you something.
Well, plus I want you to let me know if I misspell something, because this game is not forgiving on misspelling. Core 1. Core 3. Core 4. Core 5. Core 6. Core 6. 6.
You don't want to disable the connection or communication.
Power control. Disable for 6. Stacking. Should probably keep the main computer, so where? Sensors. Waste. Power. Control. List. Oh, I forgot about gravity. Disable. Alright. Nope. I don't know, I wasn't gonna see what it was. PSS. PSS. Enable. PSS. Switch. Battery. Alright. Reactor disable.
You spelled it wrong.
Ah. Disable. We'll safely fall back on. Yes. Woo! Let's try. I saved the day! Alright, you did it. The reactor's now disabled. And, oh geez, we're still gonna have a problem. Alright. Shower. Power powers. Power control. Power control list. I'm just gonna go out on them and say that I need that life support system would help.
Mm-hmm.
Life support. God damn it. So picky. I've got it. I know what you can do. I mean, wasn't that literally what I just did?
You need to disable the bulkheads again.
Yep. Atmosphere is being vented into space. Oh! Oh, I can read again.
You did it. You did it. The nuclear reactor is now both completely deactivated at a safe temperature. We're safe. I was pretty scared there for a moment. I mean, it's not that I didn't think you could. It's just the thought of actually dying for good was scary. It was scary. But you did it, and I'm fine now. Thank you so much. I'm sure you're breathing a little easier too, right? Well, that was close. I think we both really deserve a break from the serious business. Don't you agree?
Very much so.
I thought so. My word, that was a close call. There's actually something I've been thinking about asking for a while, that I wanted to ask you about. And well, I had sensors working before. I've seen your ship. I know it's only big enough for one person. It sounds awfully remarkable that you could have a ship like that for just yourself. I mean, in my time, we were using generation ships, and that was incredibly state-of-the-art. So, is that normal? Do you do this all the time to go on strange adventures by yourself in deep space?
Yes.
Wow, that's really amazing. Remarkable, really. See, when I found out that I was going to get put into stasis to wake up for later, that was the future I always dreamed about. One that was full of amazing things like, I don't know, holograms, miracle medicine, ships that travel faster than light, colonies on other planets. That's sort of amazing. I mean, I've never really liked science fiction. It's just too unrealistic. But when I was a kid, I figured it'd still be fun to live in it. Imagine my surprise. But it sure sounds like you're from that future. Oh, sorry, I'm rambling, aren't I? It's just the idea of finally getting that perfect future that I was denied, traveling with someone so deep in space, well, that sounds awfully romantic. Sorry, I'll stop now. Let's get back to the serious business.
Alright, now about your mass murdering stuff that you went on. How are you doing?
Well, to be honest, nervous. I'm really nervous. It's just, you're the first person that I've talked to in so long. I'm really happy about that. But, well, I'm exposing a lot. I know you promised to trust me and all, so thanks. It's just, this is all really new to me. But it's good. I'm glad. I wouldn't be so nervous if I wasn't happy you were there to listen.
How do you feel about me?
Do you want to go ahead and save? Because I think you get 2 options.
Good call.
Wow, there's a tough question. I mean, you seem like a really good person. I think I could call you a friend.
Damn, friend zoned by an AI. I knew this day would come, people! I've warned you!
You seem to be a really good listener. I like that. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay, good. Not that I really understand why Mute was asking.
Question 3. How did it feel to kill the entire ship? Why don't you treat me with more respect?
What? Jeez, my word. What are you talking about? When have I ever not treated you with respect? I don't know what's wrong with that awful AI, and I definitely don't know what's wrong with you.
I mean, I'm just going off the script here.
Why would you even say something like that? Jeez.
Question 4. What do you really look like? You know, besides the whole skeleton thing.
about a few thousand lines of assembly code and a few gigabytes of memories, I suppose, sitting on a hard drive somewhere. I don't really know what that looks like. Oh, I guess you mean before I died, didn't you? Well, I was 13 years old when I woke up and 16 when I died. So, well, I looked younger, but I guess I wasn't really all that different, just shorter, and I guess, smaller in other places, too. Everyone always did say I was pretty, though, even when I was really young, so I guess picture a shorter version of me without the glasses and with my hair in some dumb braid or another in a handbok, and that's pretty much it. I never really got to dress up the way I wanted to. Even this is the first time I've been able to wear my school uniform since I was 13, before I got put in stasis. How silly is that? Being excited to wear a uniform? And I mean, you know how much I was into cosplay. I never really had a chance for that when I was alive. Why do you even ask? What are you thinking?
You look good.
Well, thank you. Anyway, we should really get back to the more serious stuff, don't you think?
Yes, of course. What was your favorite part about killing everyone on the ship? Was it how you know they were all losing air? Or the fact that you were the only one to survive? How old are you?
Isn't that the one question you're never supposed to ask a woman? Jeez, you're so rude. Well, I was born in the year 2415, then was put into stasis for I don't know how long. Then I lived for another 3 years and died about 22 years ago, at the age of 16. So, you tell me how old I am. I don't know. Really, I don't think it really matters at this point, does it?
How do you feel about Mute?
Oh, of course that'd be one of her questions. I don't... Well, let me put it this way, I suppose. Did she have anything nice to say about me?
Would you consider being a crazy murder bitch a nice thing? Survey says, not really.
That's what I thought. Really, I don't know much about her other than what I've read in other people's logs. She never talked to me. Ever. I mean, she wasn't above talking about me, but no, never anything to me. That's all I know about her. She's a gossip. I don't even want to speak to her now.
Question 7. Who is your favorite person on the ship to kill? Was it the Emperor or your father?
God.
Why couldn't you just settle for a happy marriage?
It's not like I ever thought as a child I would never marry. You tell me, though. Could you marry someone you'd only ever talk to once?
course not.
Well then, maybe you shouldn't be judging me for it. It's not like it's my fault. We both read the same logs. I wasn't the only person on the ship to be crushed by a horrible marriage.
I mean, you should just go on the other route and go on a lesbian path.
Maybe I could have done unspeakable things with our servants. Like, oh, Sujin did. Is that what Mute meant by a happy marriage?
Hey, it's just what I said.
Sorry, I'm not usually this sarcastic. I just don't think it's a fair question. The two older Kim sisters, you should read their letters. Here, I'll show you. They had it just as bad. It's a really unfair question to ask.
Ooh, more logs. Let's see what kind of gossip are we dealing with here.
Give the tea.
Dear Shun here, I wish we would had more chance to talk before I left. I'm sorry it was so sudden. Not my choice, please believe me. It is really weird living in someone else's house, even just like the place itself, you know? The walls of the house are way smaller. They don't even separate women's quarters. It is pretty much just a paper-thin divider separating us from the men most of the time. You can see and hear everything. It is so very weird. And there's a lot more to do around the house. If you thought Mom was strict, wow, mother-in-law just makes her seem positively gentle in comparison. I know. I just have to get used to it. But she kind of scares me. Plus we don't have any servants here at all. I have to handle pretty much all the chores. I will try to write to you regularly though. As long as I can find the time, mother-in-law keeps me pretty busy during the day with housework. And my husband keeps me pretty busy during the night with other work. It is pretty much chores all day, every day. But I try to sneak in another letter soon, alright? With love from your older sister, Amumu.
So far sounds good, right? Things fell apart between them with time, though. Here, see for yourself.
Oh shit, even more letters.
Oh my god.
Dear enemy, I wish you could have found time sooner. But if you say you're busy, fine, I believe you. Things aren't very interesting at home. Mom's really busy lately. I think she's been in a big hurry to get me married. I wish she wasn't. How come you didn't have to do an interview until you're 14? Lucky. One of them seems nice though. I think the man's name was O. O? I talked to his mother about it for a little bit. Don't remember what brought it up. But I told her about the dolls you left me. The second interview we did. She brought me one of hers from when she was my age. And said I could keep it. Interview sucked, but I think I would be fine with marrying her son. I mean, if I really have to. She sounds better than your stupid mother-in-law. Love, Shin-hee. Dear and me. Thanks for being able to come to my wedding, even if it was just for a day. Don't worry about what Mom said about you not having kids yet. You shouldn't take that personally. I was really happy to see you again, since I wasn't sure if I ever would. I love you, big sister. I'm sorry for bothering you with this so soon after we spoke, but I really need you to answer something for me. I don't have anyone else to ask, and I'm really, really, really worried about something. It is really embarrassing, but I just have to know. The night I moved in, my husband and I slept together. I'm not ignorant about how that is supposed to work. I know why. After all, my husband said everything was fine, and that I shouldn't worry, but it really hurt. A lot. I was crying the whole time, and he injured me so much. There was blood everywhere. I know I'm not supposed to question him, but he's not normal. But that's not normal, right? Should I insist on seeing a doctor? He seems he seems nice besides that. So I just don't understand. Why should I do, big sis? Love Shin-hee.
Oop.
Oh, jeez. Dear Shin-hee, no, you don't need to. No, you don't need to see a doctor. I'm sorry to be the bringer of bad news, little sis. But I'm afraid your husband's right. That really is normal. Don't worry about freaking out either. You're a lot younger than I was when I got married, so it's probably even worse for you. I'm so sorry. It gets a little easier after the first time. It's still uncomfortable though. You just have to endure it. That never changes. I'm sorry. Don't worry about the crying either. Men actually find that to be attractive.
Oh no!
So just keep doing it, and you'll probably make him happy. If you're lucky though, you'll get pregnant quickly and won't have to worry about any of that for months. That aside though, how have you been? How's your new family? I haven't heard much about them. I kept trying to ask Mom to tell me about your husband, but all I got was that lecture about how I was nearly 3 years old when she had been married for as long as I had. And I'm not trying. As if I'm not trying. So do tell me more about him and his family, please, Shunhin. I love you. With love, your older sister and me.
Yeah, you should finish the rest first. You can see for yourself how things turned out.
Dear Shunhi, I said in my last letter that I was pregnant, and thanks for the congratulations. But I hope you didn't rush to tell Mom. You have to send her the bad news. It was a false alarm, I'm afraid. I bled this month. I hope you are doing better, little sis. Your child is Journey Day, right? Love and me.
Yeah, you should finish the rest first. You can see for yourself how things turned out.
Jeez, if I know this game like I think I know this game, I don't think I want to see how things turned out. You and me, I wish I could have written to you sooner, but I'm afraid I haven't had the time. With what having a real pregnancy and all to worry about, my mother-in-law insists that I take the time to write to my family, though. So I finished the letter to Mom first. Sorry about your false alarm. I did tell Mom, and she wasn't very happy to hear it. I'm sure you're not really surprised by that, though. The good news, I gave birth 2 weeks ago. Her name is Janine, and she's the cutest little child you've ever seen. She reminds me a lot of our little brother. Although she has her father's eyes, really. I really wish you could have met her. I just know you think she's absolutely adorable. So I'm a mother now. I still can't think of myself that way. It is so weird. Right now, she's just so small. She can't even lift her head, but every time I look in her eyes, I wonder how I'm going to be able to raise her. Mother-in-law says I shouldn't worry. It will come naturally. And she'll be there to help. I guess it is true I definitely don't know what I would do without her. At the very least, I sure won't even get any sleep. It is just scary, you know? Wasn't it just yesterday that we were playing together in our family house? Now it's been nearly 16 years since I was born. I'm a wife and a mother. How did we get so old? Yeah, 16. They are so old. I mean, it could be worse. I know that's a good age for both of those things. And that is really disappointing if you are older and haven't managed that. I have it good, it is just odd to think about. But I'm not complaining, and oh, when you're a mother you understand why, big sis. I just love her so much. She means everything to me. Anyways, I'll stop rambling. I think Jin Lee is crying to be fed by now. And mother-in-law can't help with that. So I'll leave it there. Take care, sister. I'm sure sister's gonna take that well. Dear Shen-He, well, maybe you could use a little more caution in what you... Well, maybe you could use a little more caution in what you send to Mom. Because it is not like you didn't know how annoyed she can get. Especially at me. There is a reason you are the only one she still actually talks to. I'm trying, you know. I can only do so much. Congratulations on your daughter. I'm really excited to hear about that. Yeah, it's a shame that I can't see her. She sounds wonderful. I don't really have much else to say. I just wanted to acknowledge your letter. Things haven't been worth talking about. My mother-in-law is still a crazy tyrant, and my husband and I are still trying to have a son. Nothing new, nothing worth mentioning. I'm glad things are going much better for you. With regards, and me. No longer with love. Dear and me. How long has it been since we last wrote to each other? It feels like it's been forever. I wish you wouldn't be such a stranger. I have a 2-year-old son now. His name is Tai-Hoon, and he takes after his father in a lot of ways. He just started to learn to talk now, much earlier than Ji-Lin did. No surprise. But Jin-Lee is a real sweetheart. She is what reminds me of you. The two of them have fought, so I was scolding her. I told her that I was disappointed. I expected better from her as an older sister. I gave her the whole billion responsibility speech. You know, the one that Mother always used to give. It is funny, I hated that so much as a kid. I promised myself I would never guilt my own child that way. Now I just think to myself, well, it worked, didn't it? Anyways, she asked me what it means to be an older sister. I had trouble with that one. Finally, I said, it means you should be a good role model. Teach your little brother what it means to be responsible. By example, show him. That was a good enough answer for her, but I thought about it, and it is not good enough to, and it is not a good enough answer for me. Not at all. It is you that I've been thinking of, and you know, I turned out okay. I wish I could take back what I said and tell Jin Lee what I'm going to tell you. You don't have to be perfect. You're not a good role model, but that is fine. I love you anyway, big sis, and I always will. Even if everyone is disappointed you. Even if you're not really family anymore. As far as I'm concerned, you're still my big sis. You don't have to be perfect. I love you, period. Please write back, sister, even if you don't have good news to put. I just want to hear how you are. Love, Shen-He.
There's one more that you and me never said. I'm going to warn you now, though. It's really intense. Are you sure you really want to read it?
Yes.
Very well. There you are. It's been added.
I mean,
Don't say I didn't warn you, though.
everything has been intense in this virtual novel so far. Dear Shen-He. Dear Shen-He, you know what? Fine, I'll tell you the truth. The false alarm? It wasn't a false alarm. I didn't lie about the bleeding. That was true. But I really was pregnant at the time. More than I left on in my letter. As in, morning sickness, giant belly. You could see it. I was really pregnant. And bleeding. My husband brought in the doctor immediately, who asked me all sort of questions about everything. I was fine, perfectly healthy, no injuries, I told him. So he put out his instruments and started listening to my son's heartbeat. And listening, and listening, and listening. It felt like forever that he kept trying and I couldn't understand why he couldn't find something I knew just had to be there. The obvious never occurred to me. He had to explain it. I'm sorry, the doctor said. There is no heartbeat. The fetus is dead. He couldn't do anything about it. It took a week for the actual miscarriage to happen. It was the worst week of my life. It was hellish, You had 2 children, I'm sure you know. That wonderful feeling you get when you realize you're with children, child? That you know that you are going to have a baby and can feel him inside you and imagine what he is going to look like and what he will grow up to be. And that right now, he's depending on you more than he ever will to keep him safe. You know the feeling, I'm sure. Just the day before, I've been so happy I was going to finally have a child. After I find out, I could still feel him, dead, but still inside me, splashing around. The day before, I thought I was filled with beautiful life, but was actually filled with death. I would have no son. What I was carrying was just a corpse, weighing me down. I thought I would feel better once I expelled it, but then I saw it, this awful, bloody mess. That shouldn't have been a son. It was awful. So awful. After I saw it, my husband had to force me to wash myself because all I wanted to do was crawl into my bed and die. I didn't get out of bed for a whole month after that. Save for a brief hour I could write to you and tell you that I wasn't pregnant. Eventually, I recovered. I realized it wasn't really my fault. Eventually, we started trying again. After all, what you, Mom, and Mother-in-law have all been implying is right. I'd be a lousy wife if, after 8 years of marriage, I still haven't had a child. So we tried and I did eventually get pregnant. Then it happened again. That was half a year ago. You're right, I'm not perfect. I'm as broken as it gets. The one most important thing in the world for a woman to do. And I can't. You've been pregnant twice. And you know you have 2 wonderful children that you love. I've been pregnant twice, and all that's happened is I've killed both of them. I don't know what is wrong with me. I don't know why. The doctor says I didn't do anything wrong, but clearly I can't bring life into this world. The only thing I can bring is death, little sister. Today I overheard my husband talking to my mother-in-law about considering taking on a second wife to actually give him a child. He sounded really disappointed in me. I didn't know what to do. Kill myself? Maybe. Since killing seems to be all I can do. It would be better for everyone if I would... It would be better for everyone. It would be easier on my husband. And you wouldn't have to worry about me being a disappointment at least. It's the only thing I can think of. What else can I possibly do? Enemy.
I don't know about you, but I had a really hard time reading that the first time. Can you imagine that? It's even as if I knew her. I didn't even know either existed when I was alive. I mean, sure, their mother mentioned that she'd had daughters before, in a sort of abstract way. But she never told me so much as their names, let alone, well, anything. Anyway, none of that was my original point. My point was, now you see what I mean? When Mute talks about a happy marriage, that's what she's talking about. It's not as if I'm the only woman to have a horrible marriage. It wasn't my fault. That's what happens. That's normal. Oh, please tell me that you don't think that marriage is normally unhappy. Oh, God.
Alright, let's see how deep into this rabbit hole we're gonna go with this next question. Did you ever have any friends?
After waking up from stasis, I only ever had one single friend. Oh, 2 I meant. Now that you're here.
Friend zoned again. It hurts.
Anyway, before, it was just her. The queen, my husband's wife, Ryu Jaiwa. I wrote about her a lot in my diary. I'll just show you. It's probably better if you read it for yourself. These are from right after I got married.
Oh, more entries. %78%. I'm gonna go and get a drink.
Okay.
Fuck. Alright, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Just us wives. Ooh, good talk. Dear diary. I guess it's been forever since I cared enough to write anything down. I just haven't seen much point. Since my last entry, I got married, moved into a palace, and lost my virginity. Apparently, for a girl my age, none of these things are really all that weird. The queen finally insisted on talking to me the night after I first slept with my dearest husband. I had been expecting it. My sister warned me that she would probably be jealous, and I would just have to endure it. She outranks me, and I would simply have to kowtow to her needed be. I haven't had to yet though. We've had tea together, and she at least has started by acting friendly. I'm sure sister was right. I would get the brunt of her anger soon enough, but today she was friendly. "How are you holding up?" she asked me after we finished with tea. I shrugged. "Do trust me. I know how hard it can be for a newlywed. I've been through it myself. But it was not. But I was at least older. You probably miss your family, do you not?" That is what I would expect from a good girl. So I nodded. "It gets easier with time." I had no response. "I'm sorry." "I'm sorry. Am I bothering you? You can leave if you wish. I simply thought you might like some company." I wasn't sure how to respond to that either. I just clasped my hands and shook my head. "I just wanted to be sure," she said. There was a long pause, then followed. Finally, she asked, "How was last night?" It surprised me that she was willing to bring up the subject, figuring that it was a siege into her being decisive towards me for sleeping with her husband. As I shrugged as she continued, "I just know he can be rough. Nobody ever talks about those duties with me." Then she smiled, and I almost felt like I could drop my guard. I had no idea what to expect for my first time. Do believe me, I'm not jealous. That is nothing to be jealous of. But do tell me how it was. It made me think back on last night, honestly. It was the best night I've ever had since waking up in the future. Everyone, my mother, my sister, and now my queen, warned me that it would be bad. It would be a duty, and nothing more. But I honestly did love it. I would have let him keep me up all night if he had the energy for it. I guess while I was thinking about all that, I left out a slight smile. I caught myself. But before she noticed, "Oh, did you enjoy it then?" she asked, touching my arm. I jumped. Please, be at ease. That is perfectly alright too. So as long as you know it's not just for him. There's absolutely no shame in that. There's none." I expected her to jump into something passive aggressive from that, but she didn't. All she did was change the subject, and said that she was really worried about me. Maybe she isn't so bad. What do you have to say about that?
So, you can see, she was kind. She was good to me. She really was. I take it you want to know more about my marriage then? What are you interested in? Then you're in luck. She's in all of these entries. Well, she was really the only thing in my life worth writing about, for the most part. There's one in there that she wrote herself about our husband, and you can see for yourself, she's a lot stronger than I ever was.
I mean, I don't know. She didn't eat the entire ship.
So you can see for yourself why I admired her. And, well, just read them, alright?
Dear Diary, attending to my husband has been easier than I was afraid it would be. Yes, there are days where it requires more strength than usual to keep going. I'm still getting increasingly more sick. Nothing would change that, but it's not so bad, really. All I have to do is start on him and try to appropriate his desires, and he is happy with me. No abuse or anything. Sure, it's not as if I like him. He's an ugly 40-year-old man who cares only about politics and never tells me anything. Love? Well, that's certainly no concern. I don't know where I ever got that impression that something that could happen in marriage. I thought it was something from the past, but, well, I was young before I got put in stasis. It must have been a mistake of a child. But so long as I do as I'm told, and I'm not mistreated, like I was by my sister. And sleeping with him feels good. I really hope I don't get pregnant soon. I don't want that to stop. Doing that is really the only thing that makes me actually happy these days. Well, that and Jahi's talks with me. She's nice. She keeps me company while I stay up to wait for his return. She fetches service to take me to bed on those days. On those days I'm too feverish to sit for too long. And she just talks to me. As if I'm a friend. I don't understand why, but I guess she really doesn't hate me after all. Don't let me tell you, she said one evening when she was brushing my hair. I was one little sister growing up. That's how I think of you. Does that make sense? I shrugged. It was nice of her, and it felt so relaxing to let her touch my hair like that. She wasn't waiting for me to respond anyways. By now, she knows better. She just kept talking to me kindly. The more she lives in my house, the more I'm confused about the mystery that is the Pale Bride. No wonder why my husband has been favoring the Kim family lately. Their daughter seems to be the perfect woman. She's not simply a pale beauty. She's always too shy to speak at all, let alone argue. Seems to hang off his every word, and, it turns out, is actually so completely humble in her education that she can't even read. Or rather, she can't read normal characters. I've observed her writing to herself, in perhaps what may be a diary. When I asked her what it was, she wouldn't say, but was quick to write it. I could not recognize a single character on her screen. However, they seem simplified compared to regular writing. Perhaps she has invented a writing style just for herself. It is very strange. Did you ever receive those letters I sent to your house before you arrived? I asked her curiously. Seemingly she had. Did you read them? Response was worried, as if she was scared that I would be angry to find out that she hadn't. I was not, of course. I'm sorry I had assumed. Are you able to read? That was when I found out that she wasn't. I offered to read them to her, to which she seemed quite enthusiastic. I think I'm likely to leave out some parts, however. I've had enough difficulties bringing myself to write the more embarrassing parts of the family history. Bring myself to talk about them, even if I know she would never say anything. It's just far too much. Like all these things with her, I cannot tell whether her enthusiasm is sincere or an effort to make me happy. This troubles me. You want to read this?
Of course I wasn't illiterate. I could read just fine. Just not their stupid Chinese-based characters. I mean, I can understand them now. Everything except for my diary entries is translated from them. It's such a dumb way of writing, though. It makes everything come out so stilted, compared to proper Korean. Well, anyway, you're showing me that because you're interested in her admonitions, right?
Yes.
Then here, I'll just give you the letters that she sent. They'll give you all the details, even the ones she was too embarrassed to tell me about at the time.
Oh boy.
You can probably guess which part she cut out. Pretty obvious it's the incest thing that she never told me about at the time. Having read about it now, I don't really blame her. And, well, you can see what I mean for yourself.
Oh boy, even more entries. Agnes, the pale bride. Dear diary, I have been thinking a lot about how close my death must be now. Lately I've been getting prone to faint spells. It probably goes right along with my diminishing appetite. If the doctor from the past was right, I've still got over a year left to live. Maybe more. He said I wasn't very likely to get bad enough to kill me until I was at least 18. Although maybe all those years in Cysus might have changed that. I don't know. But if he was right, and if I hadn't lost track of time, I'm 16 and a half right now. So there's still a while. I've been trying to hide the signs of sickness. Even if I could explain, I know full well that nobody would believe me. So far hiding it has been mostly working, although I did have one of my faint spells when my husband was on top of me. He wasn't angry at me, though I don't think he cared. I know all I write about these days is sex with my husband and conversations with his wife. The Kim family would be really proud, I guess. But those things are all that's really worthwhile in my life. I have other responsibilities, of course. They're just not that interesting, and that's about it. Anyways, the queen has continued to be nice to me. She finally figured it out. We were having tea together one afternoon. She was talking about nothing particular, and she asked me some questions that I just shrugged to. I hope you don't take this the wrong way, she then said. But there's something I'd like to ask you. I nodded. I don't think I've ever heard your voice before. I nodded again. Why don't you ever speak to me? Are you just saving that for the Emperor? I didn't know how to respond. She was so close to getting it. To bring up the subject I wasn't able to. Yet that wasn't the right question. So I shook my head and hoped that her next question would be, it was. Then, Hung A, she said uncertain. Are you mute? Oh shit. I felt like screaming yes at the top of my lungs. I was so happy that she had finally figured it out. I smiled and was about to nod enthusiastically. But suddenly, I stopped. What if she had thought less of me if I said yes? If she knew that was the reason I was so quiet, and Andy Moore wasn't because of any sort of discipline. Those were things people liked about me. But she stopped liking me if she knew. What if she told my husband? I was so terrified I couldn't think of any correct answer. If I said no, I'm sure she would have asked to hear what my voice sounded like. And it would be forced to spoil. As if I nodded, then she would know I wasn't really just trying hard to be a good wife. And I'm sure she would talk to my husband about it, so he would know too. While I stared at her until I think of how to respond. She sighed and sipped her tea. Don't worry about it, she said. You don't have to answer. Please do forget I had ever asked. You want to read it?
You know, nobody ever noticed that until her. Nobody cared. Nobody ever thought of any of it, or cared enough about me to find out. But she did care. She actually paid attention. She was great.
Arguing the Emperor. My concern over the purebred condition had grown lately. She seems to grow even quieter. If such a thing is possible for a mute girl. Well, perhaps saying she is mute is an assumption. To follow my part, I tried asking her directly. but she seemed too scared to answer. Then that simply makes me more suspicious, and I should like to know why. I addressed my husband on the matter, telling him that I wished to speak to the woman of the Kim family house to see if I could find out what is wrong. He shrugged me off, saying, "Don't. They are valuable subjects. The son is someone I had my eye on, and particularly the politics with the situation are far too delicate to be meddled with." I cleared my throat. He might be both my husband and emperor, but I would not let that stop me from being bold. "My dear husband, I don't care," I said flatly. "I'm worried about the girl, and I believe that talking to her mother might shed some light on the matter. The son is of no concern to me. I don't see why it matters. She is the perfect woman. Why, are you jealous?" he said, rolling his eyes at me, a gesture that he has only been able to do on me, as in his servants. Ever since becoming emperor, nobody has the patience for it when he was a child. I don't have it now either. "Iho, dearest, do you believe that the well-being of your wife is a political matter, or even an external matter?" I asked. He didn't. "So wouldn't you say it's a domestic matter?" I asked. He reluctantly agreed. "Then as a domestic matter, it is the responsibility of the woman of the house, is it not? Please tell me. You are obviously more well-read in the classics than I said. Both of us knew he wasn't. "Fine," he said, "but just because it is your responsibility doesn't mean I can overrule you. I can't overrule you." He left silent on the follow-up. "I don't have time for you." "You do know that my concerns are valid, though," I replied. "If you value my opinion, you let me speak to the Kim mother." There was a pause. Then he raised his hand in annoyance. "Very well, do it. Though it's woman's business, I don't want to be part of it regardless." He just shook his head. "Why must all of our conversations be arguments?" I simply smiled at him and left. He already knows the answer.
I never knew about that when we were alive. Like most things, I only found out after I took over the ship's computer. Just amazes me even more. Look at her. She's a woman who actually stood up to a man and won. She wasn't clumsy like I was. She knew how to work it from her position. Isn't that so amazing?
I mean, I don't know, you literally beat every man, woman, and child on that ship. Why did she have to die? Dear diary, you always forget how terrible it is to cry yourself to sleep until it happens. It is just the ultimate feeling of helplessness. But what's news there? But what is new there, right? I just miss her, even if she scared me. I miss her so damn much. Jahai was the only one who sympathized to me. Why did she have to die? Is that my fate? Anything that makes me whatever. Anything that makes whatever short life I've had left bearing must go. Fate just hates me, I've decided. I don't know what killed her. I overheard one of the servants saying the doctor claimed it was too much worrying caused an excess of wood in the speedo, which he claimed to be common in oversensitive women. I was baffled by the absurdity at the time. I still am now. My only friend is dead, and her diagnosis is absolutely insane. What do you even say to something like that? Well, I guess it's not like I need to worry about knowing what to say. But in light of that, it doesn't surprise me that nobody ever believed I was sick. With medicine that stupid, why would they? All it does is render how hopeless everything is. I just constantly wondered, why did my father, my own doctor, think that people would be smarter in the future? That medicine would be better? My servant had been helping me get through all the funeral stuff. Well, I mean, she's been guiding me through the rites, practically doing them for me. Really, I'm so weak and stunned. I don't even know how I've been getting out of bed. I couldn't decide all of the I couldn't describe any of the ceremony. It is all a blur. There's been lots of black dresses. I suppose that's my only impression. And crying. Lots of crying. From me.
I don't. I don't. I don't really have anything to add to that. She didn't deserve to die. Jeez. Excess of what? What is that even supposed to mean? Look, please, do you trust me?
I'll try.
Please understand my position at the time. My world was so small, and I just lost my only friend. And then well, I'll give you my last 2 diary entries. They'll have the whole story. Please don't judge me while you read them. Please.
Oh gosh, this is not going to be pleasant. Back to hell. Dear Diary, this sounds so pathetic to say. I have tried rewriting this a million times. A million times just to make it sound less pathetic for me, and I simply cannot. There were 2 things that made my life worthwhile. 2 things that made this last year before I died be bearable. The first was John He's company, being the one person that was friendly to me. The second is sharing a bed with my husband. For the past 2 months. That's what I've been saving all my energy for. The brief, precious half hour every few nights where I felt fulfilled, if only in the most literal sense. It is the most lovely feeling, and now I will never feel it again. The 2 things make my last year of life worth living gone forever. The past few nights I've been trying to get the Emperor's attention in that way, pleading silently for his affection, with no luck. On the 4th, or was it the 5th day, he finally took me aside and said, painfully annoyed in his voice, "Enough! Stop that! It's completely inappropriate. You're supposed to be in mourning. Show some damn chastity, or do you have no respect for my wife, and your queen at all?" he snapped. When I looked confused, he just lectured me. When I cried, he sighed, held me tightly, then left the room. I haven't spoken to him since, but later that day my servant came to my room with good news. I was to go visit my family for a couple months. While the house is in mourning for Jihar, I couldn't argue, of course, even if I was able. So just like that, I was sent back to hell. I was dressed in the usual veil so nobody would see my face. I was escorted back to Kim House in the middle of the night. Mother and father were there, briefly to greet me, and in spite of how I felt about them, I put on my bravest smile and bowed, and nodded politely to their questions about how I was doing. Then they had to go to bed, and leaving me alone with sister. Yagusort was nowhere to be seen. "Hi," she said. "I never thought you would end up visiting us again so soon." I shrugged. "Well, let's have some tea. It's just us still around," she said. I nodded. It seems like a good enough idea. There was a pause. "Well, go make it!" she snapped, removing any doubt that she might treat me with any sort of friendliness. Of course I made the tea. I don't disobey her anymore. Thanks, she said. So, young Saw is out, attending to official business at the moment, but you should avoid him. He's staring at you because father-in-law finds you more important to the family than his own son. Can you blame him? I had no idea what she was talking about, and she just continued. So you really shouldn't talk to him. Oh, I guess you can't really do that, can you? Haha, well, you know what I mean. Yes, I knew exactly what she meant. I'm surprised you're back so soon, though, especially now that you don't have to share your husband. Does that mean you're the primary wife now? I didn't know. Does that make you queen? Oh, what a great future you have. Father-in-law must be so proud of you. I stared at her, wishing nothing more than to be able to kill her through sheer force of rage. How could she possibly say something so awful? My only friend was dead, and here she was, taunting me. What an awful thing to do. But I couldn't hate her to death, no matter how much I tried, so instead I just tried to hold back angry tears to hide my weakness, and I couldn't do that either.
Just please keep reading.
Oh boy, I killed them all. Dear Diary, I was far too feverish to do any real cooking, so my servant was doing all the work for me that night. When father came in, I think he was drunk or maybe just tired or stupid. You know what, child? He said to me. You grew up to be a wonderful daughter. I was shocked to hear him say that, and waved my servant out of the kitchen. I never heard even the slightest incantation of that before. From that brief moment, it even made me happy to hear that. That surprised me. That I actually felt that way. As a kid, I never would have wanted his approval, so why now? He continued to make me wonder when he asked, Do you remember what you were like as a child? I nodded. But I wasn't certain I did. You were so temperamental. You argued all the time. You didn't want to get married when the time came. You just didn't even know your place, you know? That's right, I didn't. That was back when I thought there was a point in being defiant. Why was that, I wondered. That was the part that amazes me now. I try to think of the reason why I might want to be defiant, why I valued independence. And at first I couldn't even think of anything. I forgot entirely. Don't tell young Sun, but it really scared me. You were always the family's best hope for prosperity. But that attitude of yours, I thought I would never manage to disavow you of that crazy, uncivilized ideas of yours, he said. When I tried to think of what they were. There were times I thought it was a mistake to have hatched you. But you came through. You really did. I know it must have been painful. But I'm proud of you. Then he patted me on the head. You turned out to be a good girl. That is all I want to say. It was hard raising you to be a proper woman, but you turned out to be perfect. Thank you, he said. I stared, speechless, as I tried to remember what crazy, uncivilized idea he was talking about. Thinking back to those days, or back before I was 14, I tried to remember. I had dreams of what adulthood would be, but they were so unimaginable, different from how the reality turned out to be, that they seemed completely impossible. Completely impossible! Nothing more than childish fantasies without a shred of realism into them. I tried to think of what they were, to imagine them in those dreams. I was strong and independent. I wasn't just a wife in those dreams. I had a job, working as ship's engineer, following the footsteps of my father. My real father! I wasn't married in those dreams. I was happy just to go on dates with boys my age, in the ship's plaza, and fall in love before making any compliments. I dreamed of being free. The more I thought about it, the more I was certain that's what those dreams were about. That's what I'd wanted. But father, Kim Jung-soo, rather, had made sure to disavow me of those notions. I learned to stop arguing, to stop trying to fight, to stop dreaming of those things. In other words, I learned how to be a proper woman. And he was proud of that? Proud to destroy my dreams? And now I would die under the house of that man, silent, broken, hopeless, and unloved? I was overwhelmed by the strongest feeling I'd ever felt in my life, the deepest bitterness, the most powerful resentment I could imagine. I looked at the knife near my hands. I wondered, could I kill him? Before I died, could I at least just have justice? I tried to lift my knife. My hand twitched. It was too hard to keep a grip. I was just too weak. I'd never be able to do it. He smiled at me and said, "Sorry, please go ahead and keep cooking. I won't distract you more." Then, just as he was about to go out the door, he added, "Take care of yourself." At that moment, I thought that I would. I wouldn't worry anymore about all those people who had hurt me. I would take care of myself. I couldn't stab him to death. I was just too weak for that. But then I remembered there were other ways. If I disable life support, I can kill him. All the others too. It'll be quick. It'll be easy. Not a one of them don't deserve it. And all I need to do is disable the admin password. It is perfect.
You know, it's true. I did do what she said I did. I'm not going to lie. I really, really wish you'd never met her. I wish she'd never said anything to you. I just thought it was so nice the way things were with us before. We started out so well. I got to be cheery for the first time in my life since I was a child. Talking about romantic things together. Having fun with cosplay. Just, having someone there to talk to. Someone who wasn't interested in shutting me up. But now, well... Please, you've read my diary. You have to know it's not... I didn't... You have to understand, right? Even if you think what I did was wrong, look, I've never really been dishonest with you. Fine, I lied about being an AI, but I told you the truth. I could have deceived you, but I didn't. Please, you still trust me, right? I'd never really lied to you. Not seriously. You don't have to think of what I did was acceptable. But please, tell me you trust me.
I mean, I trust you.
You do? Really? Oh, my word. I mean, of course, I'm so sorry. I should have had faith in you. I really should have. I'm really bad at this. But thank you. Thank you so much. I can't believe I even doubted you for a second. Look, that means a lot to me. It means so much. I mean, I'm sure what I did wasn't right. I know. I'm sure you don't think it was. I want you to understand, alright? For someone as good as me, as you've been, I want you to at least please understand. You don't have to forgive me. Just hear me out.
Nah, fam.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You're a really good person. Much better than me. Thank you.
Well, I mean, I never killed an entire ship full of people.
Then, very well. It's probably better if I just show you. There's a data block that contains all the logs that matter. But my family encrypted it because, well, it should be obvious why after you read it. You need to drop the terminal and type decrypt block 7. Let me know once you've done that, and I'll show you.
Woo! I'm kind of surprised I was able to spell it right.
Very well. These are really hard for me to read. I haven't I haven't seen mine since I wrote them, and I haven't seen my family's, well, ever. Well, I think I found. Here, I've added some. Just please read them. If you want to know the whole story, those entries will explain.
Still even have a single question left. The Nightmare Bride. It seems that in the years I spent visiting my parents, everything has gone to hell in my husband's family without his knowing. Clearly, I never should have left. He has an idea, but he doesn't understand just how bad things have gotten. When I left, it all seems under control. The pale bride would be the right age to be married to the Emperor soon enough, and we would be able to use the connections to bring favor to the family. A good plan, except it turned out the pale bride's not even close to ready for marriage. Age has nothing to do with it. It is the maturity that she lacks. When she first awoke, right before I left, she seemed a little confused, but that was hardly unexpected. She had a whole new family to get accustomed to, and it seemed obvious enough that anyone born so far in the past would have some difficulties adjusting to modern life. But this is far beyond that. There is something simply wrong with that child. When I got back, the first thing Yun-sun's wife did was tell me all about how sorry she was for not being able to control the child. I rolled my eyes, as if a grown woman couldn't handle someone of her age. How are you going to raise my grandchildren like that? I asked. She was quiet and let me see the pale bride for myself. The first time I saw young C trying to get her to do something as simple as sort out his laundry, she wasn't just disobedient. She was openly defiant. When I stepped into to admonish her, it had absolutely no effect. All she did was argue back at me. I tried every approach I could think of, appealing to fatality, explaining how important a virtual obedience was, even trying to appeal to sensitivity. Everything! She just kept saying the same thing, that it wasn't fair to make her do it. Here's the obvious concern, and it is what I'd said to her. Are you going to tell your husband he's not being fair when he wants something from you? I thought that would put some sense into her, but no, she answered, yes! There's no way this unruly child could possibly be marriageable. Not like this. She would be sent back within a day, and with a good reason. What man could possibly want a nightmare like her in his life?
Mother, huh? I don't really know what to say about her, even now. This is the first time I've read what she wrote, and it's just, well, there's more. Here, read them yourself.
Mother, the pale bride. Dear diary, the good news is, health-wise I seem to be doing much better this month. I'm sure this isn't a permanent thing. It's happened before. I can't really remember how the doctor from the past explained it anymore, but he said it was pretty normal, and not something to get my hopes up about. Still, some days this month I actually had enough energy to want to move around. Not that I could move around, of course. I can't leave the house. A good girl shouldn't, is what everyone keeps saying, but enough energy to, at least. That is something. The big news is that the woman who's supposed to be my adopted mother came back. I didn't really see her much before she left. I might as well have been meeting a new person. I wish I could said I had high hopes for her. That I had thought that maybe she would be fine. That would be a lie, though. I knew she would be as bad as the rest the moment I saw her. And she was. Of course she was. She was even worse than sister-in-law. She gives these awful lectures. I can't even describe them. They are that horrible. She's that horrible. If you are so worried, why don't you just explain everything to her, simply and rationally? Jong-soo asked me. My response was obvious. She's a woman. We're not particularly rational, he said. You know what I mean. I could hardly do it. But coming from a woman, perhaps she will understand that it's all for her own good. Maybe, I said, doubting it. But I tried anyways. She took her time arriving after I summoned her to my room. Can we speak? I asked her, trying to keep my voice calm. She glared, then snapped, Fine! I asked her to sit down, but she refused. Look, I said, trying to speak to her as an equal. I still don't think that my husband was right, but it's worth trying. I have been told you would rather be called Hane. Is that right? She said, Yes, bitterly, not giving me much to go off of. That is a very pretty name, I said. Thanks, she said, but her voice was still unfriendly. My parents gave it to me, I said. You must miss them very much, she nodded. I don't understand, honey. Why are you so difficult with them, too? No, she said. They were nice. They actually cared about me. They're nothing like you people, I sighed. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What do you mean, you people? You can't say that. I cared about you, honey. You're a part of the family. You are a Kim. Your parents are our ancestors, and I know they think it's very important that we raise you right. If you want to be a bad, unfit old daughter and treat us without any respect, well, you wouldn't be the first. Do you really think an old woman like me really cares that much about your opinion of me? I thought, maybe I try appealing to her selfishness. Her marriage is important to the family, but clearly she doesn't care about fatality. It is you I'm worried about. Do you think any husband really is going to put up with the way you are, even for a second? She kept glaring at me. That is all you've kept talking about. Marriage, marriage, marriage. I'm 14. I'm 14 years old. What is wrong with you? Why does everything have to be about some man? Why do I have to marry someone that you picked? She screamed at me. I remained calm. You are going to be a royal concubine, honey. We are not dumping you off to just anyone. There's no better man. I don't know if you were already engaged in the past, but your parents would do the same, if they could. It is what is best for you. They would want this. No, they wouldn't, she shrieked. They would want me to grow up. They would want me to be an independent woman. That is what Mom and Dad thought was important. I don't want to be a concubine. I don't care about marriage. An independent woman? They want you to be a whore? I asked, my patience running as thin as anyone's would be. I don't believe for a second my husband's ancestors were the monsters she was making them to be, and was sick of this. Get out, I snapped at her. Just get out!
Are you just showing me that because you want to see more from her? Oh. Well, in that case, there's nothing I can do. She didn't really write about me that much. There's nothing else of hers here that's really relevant. You've seen it all. Sorry. My diary makes it sound really dramatic, I know. I was young at the time, but it really was. Just read it. It's exactly how it went.
Then the new anxiety. Dearest mother, my mother-in-law has relieved me of any responsibilities for looking after the pale bride. As a matter of pride, I felt bad that a simple child is too much for me to handle. But I'm certainly glad that she is not my problem anymore. Now I can put my undivided attention back to where it belongs, on my husband and his ambitions. Tell me though, mother, because I don't know why we didn't always get along that well. I was never really that bad, was I? Sure, we were both happy when I moved out. Well, perhaps I wasn't happy right away. I was more scared. But I'm sure you were relieved to have some space. But you would never have wanted to give up on me, right? I was never that bad, was I? Deep down I worry. My husband seems content to take his time to have a child, and which is his decision I can certainly live with. But what about when we do? What if we have a daughter? Will I fall fair with her too? I've been telling myself that it's not me, it's her. She's a particularly unruly child, and it's not ordinarily that bad. It's not, right? Please tell me I have nothing to worry about. Please!
You know, I never did like her. When I woke up, she was just this most awful person who kept saying the most awful things. Never as bad as Mother, but still. I didn't read any of her letters when I was alive, of course. But you know what really surprised me? She made such an awful impression on my life. I hated her the most for so long. And she barely even ever mentioned me. All my suffering. It was just a minor distraction to her. Nothing more, insignificant compared to her man. There's one more from her that you should read. I don't know how to feel about it. I don't know how to feel about her. There's just one thing that I kept thinking, though. Just one thing. I have no idea what her name was.
My last stand. Dear Diary, everything managed to spiral out of control so quickly today. I wasn't planning on it happening this way. But here's the point where I made my stand. I guess it sounds dramatic, but I won't just let them marry me off to some stranger. I won't let them! Just before dinner yesterday, Mother told me that I had to go do an interview with some man. The Emperor, I guess, for all I care. The way she put it, it would get a chance to see that he's the man you could fall in love with, or something stupid like that. As if, I said in response, and I spent the rest of the evening thinking about what I could possibly do to make it clear I wouldn't let them do this. This morning, after breakfast, sister-in-law showed up in my room. Good morning, she said. Today's a big day for you, isn't it? Mother-in-law wanted me to help you get dressed. And all makeup. You would want to make a good first impression after all. I glared at her and summoned up all my courage. No, I said. What? She asked. No, I'm not going. She left and Mother herself came in. This was it. I told myself this was a big moment. I'm not going, I said, before she could say anything. I'm not going to get dressed up. I'm not going to meet him. And I'm definitely not going to get married, I shouted. For a moment she said nothing and didn't move. Then she left too, without saying a word. I thought that would feel good, but it didn't. It just made me worry more. I couldn't have possibly won that easily, I thought. And I hadn't, of course. After a few minutes, she returned with Father, who looked incredibly angry. Minjun said you refused to get ready for your interview. He said, Yeah! I stammered. Nice to talk to him. I won't go. I won't get married. He walks over in just two strides, then glared at me for a second. I had no idea what he was going to do. Then he slapped me on the face so hard it knocked me over. Yes, you will, he said. I will drag you there kicking and screaming if I have to. My face was in so much pain. I forced myself to sit back up. I won't, I said. Braced myself for he hit me again. He did. Yes, you will, he said. I couldn't keep this up. It already hurt so much. I couldn't just brave that out. Then it came to me. If you make me go to the interview, I said, I will tell the Emperor that they have been considering... I'll tell the Emperor they have been conspiring behind his back. It was all I could think of. And all I could do was cross my fingers and hoping that the threat would work. It had to. He glared at me and in that moment I knew it worked. The two of them looked at each other. Then they both left together. That was 3 hours ago. I don't know what is going to happen to now. And I think my face is swollen. It still hurts. And I don't want it. And I didn't want it to go that way. So that is me making my stand.
I'll get there. But for now, please just look at everything else first.
Drastic measures. I have a bad feeling. The Pale Bride. The Pale Bride picked the worst of all possible days to throw another one of her childish fits, refusing to even get dressed for her interview. And this was with the Emperor himself. Not even my husband was able to get her to listen. He had to personally apologize himself for not being able to bring her as scheduled, and lied about a sudden illness. You have to do something about her, I said to my husband that evening. She is completely out of control. I know, he said. That is quite clear. He looked so worried. I hugged him and tried to comfort him. Everything would fall apart if something couldn't be done. She had threatened to say something stupid and dangerous to the Emperor. We were both scared that she might. Maybe it's time to consider doing something drastic, I said to him. He nodded. I know, he said. I can only think of one idea. I do not like it. I'd rather not. Even hitting her is far worse than I would have wanted. He explained his idea to me, and I agreed it was terrible, and I didn't like it either. But it would stop her from arguing, stopping her from ruining her own life. My husband was, as always, right. There was only one way. I don't like this. I know what it is, and I don't like this. Peace at last. Recently, the Pale Bride's temperament has improved immensely. It isn't simply that she's quiet. It's that she's actually respectful and calmer. After rescheduling, she had an interview with the Emperor, and he was actually quite charmed with her. I'm just so happy for her own sake that she finally stopped resisting the marriage. It's all coming together now. A day has been set for when she'll be sent to live with him. In the meanwhile, things at home have been peaceful again for everyone. Actually, it's even better than that. I've been spending more time with her. Of her own free will. I've been giving her advice for coping with marriage, and now the girl actually listens properly. Otherwise, there was little else to write about. I wish there had been a better way to get her to behave, but in the end, it seemed to be working out. I still can't imagine how awful it would be if she had refused to even leave the home and simply made life hell for us, or worse, if she had sent off and tried to pull any of that on her husband. She would get sent back for sure. Maybe now things will finally start coming together for the family. I must admit this time, I doubted the optimism that Jusun expressed in the 319th year, but now it seems that he was right all along. What a relief!
Of her own free will. I can't believe she actually said that. It's wrong. It's completely wrong. I can't believe she could have possibly thought that. Just unbelievable.
The new promise. Dearest mother, today the pure bride finally left home to live with her new husband, and she isn't a primary wife. There's no fanfare or ceremony for her departure itself. So instead, last night we had a special big feast to commemorate. I know I've said bad things about her before, but it's not just that I was happy to see her gone. She has been better since mother and father-in-law managed to get her to keep quiet. The thought of it still leaves me really uncomfortable. She was always just a confused child. I hate the fact that the family considers her so important and neglect my husband, and I certainly hated her for not appreciating that status and fighting it. But the fact that she doesn't understand the word, I can feel for that. It's not like I always understood myself. Regardless, it went very well. The big feast was my idea, and she was happy to help with the cooking. Earlier, she had spent the afternoon getting ready the dress was going to wear when she arrived, with mother-in-law, and she seemed rather anxious about it. While we cooked, I opened the wine earlier and poured it for her. I think she needed it. I told her the same story I told you a while ago about how scared I was when I first moved in. It seemed as though it was a lifetime ago, and yet, despite all the strangeness, I have grown so accustomed to it. You'll eventually grow to love him, I promised her. Just as you promised me all those years ago. Appreciate how good you'll have it.
You've almost read everything now. I know you've had faith in me, and I promise this hasn't been misplaced. There's just one more thing. I don't think you'll be surprised. You seem smart, I'm sure. I'm sure you've already guessed what it is. Still. Go ahead. Ask it. Ask me the obvious question. How did the big fight end? That's what you're asking, right? Or maybe you're asking, how did it change everything? How was that the most important thing? Maybe. Maybe you want to know how bad it would have been, that it made me think the whole family deserved to die. Well, if you haven't already guessed, here's my last diary entry. Just, I can't say it myself. I can't bring myself to, even now. Please, just read it.
No, I really don't like this. Forever silent, the pale bride. The pale bride, dear diary. The evening where everything went wrong. Where I thought I was going to win with my adopted parents. Well, I didn't. I lost. Making my stand, I wrote. Just hours before it happened. Yeah, right. When I got called into the kitchen, they were both there. One of the stove burners. On one of the stove burners, there was a knife. I thought it was a little odd, but I didn't care. Father stared at me and said, the fighting needs to end now. I was so sure. He was so sure of himself. Of course he was. He had every reason to be. But I stubbornly stood on my ground. I said no. I do not want to hurt you. He lied. Just promise to be less argumental, and this can end peacefully. But I just had to fight back. I just had to say no! I just had to remind him. I wasn't joking! I really will tell the Emperor that you hurt me, and that you plotted against him. No, he said. You won't. He motioned at Mother, and said, bring her over. She grabbed me, and I tried to dig my feet in, but it didn't work. Then Father pinned me against the wall with his whole body, and I kicked and screamed, desperately trying to get free, but it was no use. He was big, and I was small, and sick, and weak, and frail. Then he grabbed the knife from the stove, and I shrieked in horror. No, I screamed at him. Don't! But then Mother grabbed my mouth and held it open. I tried to keep screaming, but I was powerless and terrified. When he raised the knife towards me, I thought he was going to kill me. It was worse. The next thing I knew, I could taste disgusting flesh as he stuck his finger into my mouth and pulled. I'm sorry, Mother said. Then briefly, I could taste the steel. Then nothing but blood. All I could taste was so much blood. Nothing but blood. Finally, they both let go of me, and I collapsed onto the floor. Why? I wanted to say, but couldn't. I blacked out from the pain after that. But just before I did, I could have sworn I heard Father say, you will not even argue with any man again. He was right, of course.
That's why I gave up. That's why I wanted to kill them so much. Sorry, it's really hard to talk about it. It's just, Try. I'm sorry. I told you it'd make sense, right? That there was a good reason. Please tell me you don't think I've let you down.
I mean, fuck, man, that's fucked.
I haven't? You don't... You mean you understand, then? Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. That really means so much to me. I'm so glad. I don't know what I'd do if you didn't think, well, thank you. Thank you so much. I was terrified. So terrified. I thought you might not. I'm so glad. Thank you. Thank you so much. Right, I have. It's not like I've been pouring my heart out to you. Oh. Oh. Is she just going? Oh. Save here if you can.
%94 unlocked.
Eee. Oh, jeez. I'm in love with you. I finally said it. This is so embarrassing. No, I'm being really silly, right? I mean, Anchi, I'm sure. I know what you're thinking, right? You think that's ridiculous.
No, not at all.
You don't? Oh, that's why. I'm in love, because you manage to happily surprise me every time. I never thought that I would find someone who understands me. Someone who listens. Someone who would hear my whole life story and doesn't hate me. You really have been wonderful. I know. It's a lot to spring on someone just like that. And I don't even know if you're even a man, or the sort of woman who wouldn't have a problem with that, and still unmarried. But if you are, do you think we might have a chance together? Even just a chance?
Nah, sorry, fam.
That is truly the most amazing thing I've ever heard in my life. Thank you. Thank you so much. I've been sort of thinking about this for a while. A little bit embarrassing, I know, but... Well, we don't have to rush to get married or anything. I mean, you know how scary it was the last time I was a wife. I'd just really like to, be with you as an equal. that sound right to you?
Of course.
Wonderful. Oh, I really do love you. It's funny, isn't it? I know almost nothing about you. I have no idea what you look like. I have no idea how you talk. I have no idea what's supposed to be the most important thing about a person. If you're a man or a woman. I have no idea how old you are, although I suppose you must be much younger. Or maybe older, depending on how you look at it. Nor do I even have any idea what you're from, or even your name.
Ah, those are trivial in marriages anyways.
Yikes. But I know you take me seriously. That you understand me. That you don't treat me as something less just for being a woman. I know that talking to you makes me feel better than I've ever felt in my life. And that's good enough for me.
So, I'm better than all the horrible experiences she's experienced so far. Nice!
That's far better than I've ever had. So... Very well. I'll decompile myself now. That way you could drop the terminal and type download to copy everything to your ship, including myself. It should only take a few days to do a complete transfer. I'll see you soon, alright? So this is how my sister-in-law felt on her wedding night.
Download. Yes. Yes. Wow, 3 days. Time sure goes by fast.
Whoop.
Woohoo! Ending 2. Incoming message. Good work on receiving the manga files. I spoke to the sponsors represented on audio. He seems really pleased with what you delivered. I credited your account with the standard payments. Listen, I've got another job lined up for you. It's on Earth, but it sounds to me like... Guess that's for the sequel. Ending 2. Complete rank this time. 94%! Before I move any further, can I get the other 2 endings from the saved file? Can I get the other 2 endings from this file?
You can get one.
There are 3 endings. I can tell you what it is if you want. Apparently they're exactly the same except one thing.
Sure.
One you choose to deny her feelings, and the other one you get to keep her feelings, but she still goes with you.
Also, I friend zoned the AI. I'm just doing this because I never actually asked the third question and I'm still missing block 8. What? Oh, I see what I've been doing wrong. It's time to relive your happy memories. Block 7, everyone's favorite block. I guess I can't. Well, time to friend zone the AI. So, should I deny her now or later? Do you know?
I'm not sure what you mean by later.
Well, I remember there was a choice later. Well, I saved anyway, so... This is what I was talking about.
Oh. See, well, you know what the answer is.
Nah, fam. Alright, this should be new text.
It wasn't a long shot, I know. I'm not mad at you or anything. I had to say it. If you can understand everything I've told you, I'm sure you can understand that. I've been holding that in for a while, and it's just... Jeez, anyway, it's fine. Forget about it. Anyway, there's something else I still want to ask you. It doesn't have to be as your wife or anything, I understand. You don't want that. Will you please take me with you? Just as a... what's the word? I can't think of it. What's the good word for a good friend except female? I'm drawing a blank here. Well, whatever it is. I just mean like that. Can you just take me with you? As a passenger? Please? Thank you so much. I hope I don't sound ungrateful. Even if you don't feel the same way about me. Still the best thing anyone's ever done for me. So... Very well, I'll decompile myself now. That way you can drop the terminal and type download, copy everything to your ship, including myself. It should only take a few days to completely transfer. I'll see you soon, alright? And really, thank you. I'm actually gonna run to the bathroom real quick, so...
Alright.
Oh, here's the ending.
Welcome back.
Thank you. I might need to go back soon because my dog wanted out, but
Ending 1. So I'm guessing the last ending is the romance with Mute.
no. I guess you could technically do the third one here, now that I think about it. Do you want me to tell you the third ending, or?
Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to figure it out myself.
You don't pick any of the girls, and you just take what you need and go.
Oh. I figured that would be one of the endings.
So I think when she asks if you can join her, or if she can join your ship, you just are like, nope.
Oh, I just say no on the encoding thing. No, I'll just do. Oh, shit. Wrong button. Well, I guess I'll just have to do this then. Do, do, do.
Oh, she wants it now.
Alright.
You okay?
Me? Yep, I was just waiting for you.
Oh, sorry.
You ready?
Yeah.
Why'd you kill all those people?
Why did I kill them? Here, you want to know what could make me look at my father's face and be filled with so much hatred? You want to know how I could possibly think my whole family deserved to die? If you haven't already guessed, here, my last diary entry. I can't say it myself. I can't bring myself to, even now. Please, just read it.
Sorry, I don't want a murderer traveling with me. I like having life support.
Oh. So, you just leave me here then, after all that? After all you said? So fine. Fine. Fine then! You, you, you hate me.
Well, I wouldn't say hate.
Thought you were better than everyone else. I thought maybe you'd actually care about me. No. You're just like the rest. You're just like everyone else. What more is there to say then?
Gigi no Lee. Ending 3. Oh, there's a 5th ending.
There's a 5th ending, yes. But from my understanding, it's nearly impossible to do without a walkthrough, so...
Well,
can do that.
Yeah, that would probably be the best. Yeah, we should probably do it with the walkthrough. So I should just start over then?
Well, let's not get too hasty.
Let's see, is there any good loading points? Should I do this one or should I just start completely over? Would it be possible to get the hair mending from this load?
So it says first we need to get Mute's questions, but we cannot look at them. If we look at them, we automatically cannot get the hero mending.
Alright, so... Oh, that was not what I wanted to do. So just get to the questions first. Is that what I'm getting?
Mm-hmm.
Hahaha, I have mute. Alright, I got her questions. Now what?
Okay. So, during the reactor meltdown, you have to be with Mute, which is going to probably happen soon. It says resolve the issue as you normally did, but this time you have to, you will have Mute with you, and similar to how you get the ending. And then Mute's going to say if you trust / pity the other girl, and you have to answer that you do. She'll show you some logs, have you read them and talk to her, but continue to say you trust her. Eventually tell her that she missed something. And then you have to insert a certain log. And then you'll show it, and then she'll come to a revelation, and the rest is automatic. So, essentially you have to cheat because you should not know the log number, but you'll, like, randomly, like, have it out of the blue.
Yeah, just go on this log.
Mm-hmm.
And I bet that one log is the only thing stopping me from getting 100%.
I think it's just the ending, probably. Mm.
Luckily, I'm used to dealing with the reactor at this point. I wonder, am I allowed to cheat and disable it ahead of time?
I doubt it. Well, the only reason that you get it is because the reactor, is because of the reactor meltdown that Mute has this, like, change of heart, so.
And I'm talking about disabling all the stuff in the power control before the reactor actually starts melting down. Alright, so I can just set up the reactor thing right now, before I even have the time limit. No reactor, you wanna go off anytime soon?
Okay, here you go. You go back, or is there?
I'm just using her to unlock the other log so I can move forward and get the reactor.
Oh, I was just curious to see if this would just force the reactor to start shutting down.
Well, let's find out. I hope if I spelled her name right.
When you've done now, it looks like you've done right.
I swear the reactor never goes off when you want it to.
Try going into... if you go back to the beginning, you can search for a log. Okay, type 7 dash EUX 25.
Like that?
I'll show it to her. Hey, oh, I'm sorry. I'm not really sure why you're showing me this. As far as I can tell, it's not relevant to anything. If you just explain it in words, it'd be fine, but well, sorry. I don't really have anything to go off of. You could try showing me something similar and see if I can make a connection. Otherwise, I'm afraid I've got nothing.
Well, she just turned you down.
Nah. Okay, and yeah, I guess get the reactor. I wonder if you,
If I would have if I remembered how to get those.
oh, do you have... Do you have the I kill them all one?
No.
Okay, do 6 dash. EU. Y22.
Y22. Okay, so you've seen it all.
Okay, so this is where she reacts like, oh, yeah. Bitch is crazy.
Yeah, I do. Seriously? Alright, Amumu.
Hmm?
You wanna read this?
Seriously? Seriously?
You'd feel pity for her over her victims? You don't feel bad for her husband? You don't feel bad for her father? You don't feel bad for her brother? You don't feel bad for Sujin? You don't feel bad for the Smith family's little daughter? You don't feel bad for thousands of hapless peasants? Seriously, you'd feel bad for her when they're real victims here?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's repugnant. Like, if you still can't be convinced, at least you should see these log files of mine. They're kinda dry, but I think you should read them. Trust me here. Come talk to me when you're done with those. After that, we've got some things to discuss.
Watch, this is when the reactor's gonna start up.
Well, okay then, you've seen it all for yourself. In her own words, no. Oh, so that's why I hate her. She killed everyone. She killed my master, her husband, the emperor herself. She killed her own father, and she killed thousands of perfect strangers. She might seem pretty, but listen, she's crazy, and she's a monster. The last person to love her suffocated to death because of her. Well, you know what? That's sociopathic. That's appalling. It's damned unforgivable. I really hope you don't feel any pity for her after all that. Seriously? Seriously? You'd feel pity for her over her victims? You don't feel bad for her husband? Oh wait, we read this already. Okay, this is where you show her that other file.
Wow, that is very cumbersome. To get the...
If not, wait. I need to...
Alright, do you remember what it was?
7-EUX25.
What do you say now?
What? What the fuck did I just read? No, wait, I don't... Is this for real? Is this really something that actually happened to her?
Yes.
Wow. So she wasn't quiet because she was just being a good woman. Then I guess she wouldn't be able to ask anyone for help. I thought... Well, that still doesn't justify mass murder. But still, wow, that's all kinds of messed up. That's just horrible. I take it back then. I take it all back. She might have been a murderess, okay? But okay, you've convinced me to feel pity for her at least. Okay then, well, I guess I should probably go talk to her now. Maybe I misjudged her. I don't know, I guess there's only one way to find out, right? Okay, well, I'll be back in a short bit then.
Hang on, I'll be back in a bit.
So, okay, we talked for the first time. I just can't forgive her, but yeah, I do pity her. I'll give her a second chance. I mean, I figure I'm here to protect the well-being of the people on the ship. Even if she's the reason why, well, you know, she's still the only one left. I'm going to get her, okay?
Hello there. You told me that you were the one who convinced her to just listen to me. Granted, I don't understand what you did to show her that was possible. Did you cheat the system somehow?
Me cheat? No, never. Let's just move on.
Yeah. Well, no matter. Thank you.
Right, okay, so go in and ask him, Hyunai.
What? No, you should say it. It's embarrassing.
What did we talk about with arguing?
Sorry. Very well. This is hard to say. Well, we'd really like... It'd be the best if... Please let us be your wives!
What? That was not what we agreed on asking!
I think there was a miscommunication here.
Instructions unclear, dick stuck in toaster. But you said it'd be improper if I wasn't...
Wow. Yeah, but you don't have to say it like that. That's just gonna scare him off.
Geez, sorry. I didn't mean to make it sound like...
Okay, look. Here's the thing. It's not ideal for Hyunai to stay on the ship forever. I don't want to be your wife, okay?
Playing the fields.
Man, Hyunai, you're making me sound ridiculous here.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Fine, whatever. Okay, what I was saying before, it'd be real good if you could take her with you, and well, I could come along to make sure she's safe. Don't take any of it the wrong way, it's just out of a sense of duty and absolutely nothing more.
Sure.
Look, just ignore what she said. I don't want to be part of some harem, okay? I just think it's the best way to fulfill my desires here. Salvage this situation.
As this is literally called the harem ending.
Really, I don't see why, well... You know... It wouldn't be so bad to share if it was someone like that person.
Ah, shut up, shut up, shut up! Don't let her scare you off just because she's in love, okay? It'd just be a strictly charitable arrangement. Don't make it romantic, Hyunai.
Jeez, I'm not in love. It's just, I really...
Shut up! And knock off your whole tsundere act, okay? You're not fooling anyone!
Oh, she got called out!
But she doesn't mean to tsundere.
No,
Okay, look, you can drop the console to take the ship's records with download, but please take us with you when you do, okay?
I mean, if anyone's being the tsundere, it's Mute in this situation.
Mute is definitely the soon.
It doesn't have to be a permanent arrangement, just transport to civilization would be fine.
But if you want it to be permanent...
Silence is a virtue, Hyunai. Stop. Okay, well that's all. I'm going to deactivate us both now.
See you soon.
Yes. That's the best picture yet.
Oh my god. They are a hot mess.
Oh gosh, this is making me wondering what the second game's gonna be like.
Alright.
Which we'll continue next time. Yay!
Yay. I wonder what the next one's gonna be now, though.
From what I read, it's gonna be about Mute's past and the year before everything went to shit.
Oh, okay.